Hey everyone, Tala here. Today is going to be a bit of a discussion, and I hope you find it interesting and enlightening. And it's something I've been saying at my meditations for quite a long time, ever since 2012. Now, since 2012, I've noticed people waking up. More and more people that I am meeting are beginning to recognize that they have extrasensory abilities, or they are realizing that they are empaths and they can sense things. And I do believe that this is what my guides have been telling me. Now is the time of the Great Awakening. I understand what they mean, so I'm going to try to explain with taking my ego completely out of it and explain what they mean. So I'm going to have to channel. So give me a moment. Now is the time of the Great Awakening. Now is the time that people will come to realize that they need each other more than ever, and that they will repurpose their focus they will become aware of things that they were not aware of before, or they tried to ignore. They will come to realize that things that they thought were of great importance are simply shattered, are simply shells and not the bone. So what that means to me is the outside facades, the pretty shiny things that we all love so much, and some more than others, are not going to prop us up. They're not where we get our strength. A shell can be cracked. A bone can be broken, but a bone is what gives us our foundation of strength. So, if you'll forgive me, I'm going to do some reading because this was inspired to be discussed today by a comment that I received in the YouTube channel last night. And I want to thank Vanessa Monique. And Vanessa wrote, "It seems like I was having a spiritual awakening before all of this, but now it is stronger than ever. Seeing the same times every day, knowing what people say before they say it, I just keep feeling like this is all leading up to something, like someone's trying to tell me something. Thank you for the advice about grounding, because I truly don't know what to do about all of these things coming to light. It can be frustrating sometimes." Yes, it can, Vanessa. And again, thank you. So, people have been waking up, and I truly believe it is for several reasons. One, that the planet is also raising its vibrations. And this I've said to only a few people, that we need to learn to raise our vibration. And we can do that through our thoughts, and even more so through our actions. And thoughts become actions. And if you understand Tesla, you understand that he said, to understand the universe, you must understand I'm paraphrasing, you must understand the significance of energy, frequency, and vibration. And I believe that the planet, that most of us right now are living not just in 3D, but also in 4D. And soon we're also going to be able to live in 5D. And I've mentioned stuff about 4D before, so we do know that these other dimensions exist. We know especially that 4D exists because time actually exists in 4D, yet we've made it a 3D construct. And in 3D, it only works linearly, when in 4D, time exists all at once. Kind of difficult to wrap your head around. It's definitely something I'm sure like stoners contemplate and such. So maybe marijuana is a great gateway drug to quantum physics. I don't know. People right now are saying things are going to get worse. And I want to get back to that. I think it's very interesting that in a time where the person who is the leader of the free world is not a kind person, and he does not honor anyone. And I don't mean to offend anyone's political views, but if you look at the behavior of someone who incites anger, ignores hatred, and disparages women, and says, you know, countries of darker skin are blank countries, you know, blank hole countries. It is quite obvious to me that this person is everything that we do not need to be focusing on, and we do not need to be. And I only bring this up that while this person is in power, that the coronavirus comes up, and I think he incites a lot of different feelings of unhappiness, or I'm going to read from this list. The coronavirus affects the lungs, and the emotions that affect the lungs are as follows: depression, false pride, haughtiness, disdain, intolerance, prejudice, contempt, and regret. Now, I think all of those, except for depression and regret, probably, this man exemplifies. And this is how the lungs are affected negatively. So if this is something that he is inciting in people, it is making you more vulnerable. So people keep saying that things are going to get worse. And things are going to change, definitely. And change is never comfortable. But I believe that believing things are going to get better or worse, I think that is in the mind of the beholder and in our hearts. Madonna did a strange video recently about the coronavirus. And I won't say my opinion about it because I'm not sure I've formed any yet. But it was odd. And she said something to the effect that the coronavirus was the horrible, something that was horrible and great about the coronavirus is that it is the great equalizer. And I have to agree. If you've ever heard of a future society when there are no wars, everyone is happy and cared for, and not just cared for, but honored, who do you think is doing the caring and the honoring of these individuals? It is us. We choose to care for each other. We choose to honor each other. And that is what this virus is giving us the opportunity to do. It may be difficult to think we can do this with social distancing, but it is not. We just have to get more creative. What can you do for somebody right now that they can't do for themselves? Can you go to the store for them? And protect yourself, because remember, right now, you're not just staying healthy for you, you are staying healthy for everyone that you can come into contact with. And remember, this is actually airborne. They're not actually using those words, but I have a friend who is a nurse, and I have a relative who is very high up in the medical community, and the media is being told that it is not airborne, and it's a big long story, but it is. And when they say that it can stay in the air for up to an hour, and it can live on metal surfaces for up to 9 days, and the way they actually have to treat people that have it, it has been determined that this is an airborne virus. So you do want to make some sort of mask. You do want to wear gloves that you want to get rid of before you get back into your car, before you touch your personal items. As an aside. But back to what I was saying about what can you do for people. Can you go to the store for them? Can you repair something for them, so long as you're not exposing them? Can you sing to them? Can you make them laugh? I mean, all of these things are ways that we can connect. And I know it's difficult without physical contact, but imagine how amazing that is going to be when we can hug our friends and hold our loved ones and hug and kiss people again. It's going to be incredible, but it's going to be a difficult journey until we get there. And like I said, change is never easy, but the reward may be phenomenal. So I wanted to talk a bit about exchange of energy right now. And this was put so well by an author that only goes by the name of AAJ on a website that I found. And I'm going to have to read this because I did not memorize it. AAJ said that energy exchange is a vital process which enhances our spiritual growth and allows us to accumulate the high level of energy in our body. We are all made of energy and perform our daily activities because of the energy present in our body. We feel weak and tired if there is a lack of energy in our system. Generally require our energy to carry out our daily activity through the intake of food and water, but we can also get the energy through the energy exchange method. In this process, we exchange the energy with the other individual with high vibrations and transfer it in our body. This can also be done with the universal energy that is around us. So this is important here. If you feel that you need to be around other people to gather that energy, you can shift that to gain energy from the planet, from the sunlight, from the moonlight, okay? The ambient energy around us. You want to turn off as many electronics when you're doing this. So it can also be done with the universal energy present around us. This way, our aura and chakras are full of positive energy, and the alignment is good, which creates good protection and shielding to our bodies to dissolve the unwanted negative energies. Everything is vibration and energy, and we all people, as well as animal and plants, connect to each other through this energy exchange procedure. When we speak, we share our energies through our thoughts and our feelings. When we are around animals, we share our energies with each other through touch and emotion. Energy exists all around us in both forms, positive and negative, and hence we share it with each other in both forms. The energy that surrounds us is constantly moving and changing, transforming and redefining us and everything around us. The energy that is good and positive, created through love and happiness, have their higher vibrations, and hence it is light and remains at the height, while the energy that is bad and negative, created through our judgment and bad thoughts, have low vibrations and are hence heavy and remains at the lower side. So it is us who decides the kind of energy that can connect to us and can vibrate inside of us. The energy which we absorb helps us to redefine our spiritual path and growth. Now I'm going to take that another step further. It is the energy that we choose to connect with. It is the energy that we choose to emanate. And as you know, like attracts like. It is that energy that is going to affect our vibration and our frequency. So raising your vibration can help you to get over illnesses quicker. It's very true. There are different, I can get into frequency and vibration a bit more at a later date, but by raising your vibration, you can do this by raising your thoughts, by raising the sound around you, by playing higher vibration music. And I don't mean just like a really high pitched tone. I mean like just happier music, music that makes you feel good. If you love The Reflex by Duran Duran, put on The Reflex. If you love, James Brown, then put on some James Brown. Something that's going to make you feel good. I personally love Duran Duran, and I personally love incredible second line band called Rebirth Brass Band, and they're from New Orleans, and I've seen them, and they're amazing. And just all different. I love disco, so I'm going to put on some disco. And I'm not saying necessarily celebrate while the world is sick. I'm saying celebrate to keep your vibration up, to keep yourself happy. What I also want to point out to you, and I have it here, the other feelings that affect the lungs. And those are cheerfulness, humility, modesty, and openness. So to counter all of those other things that we are being bombarded with, and have been bombarded with over the past few years, more so than ever any other time in my lifetime, create cheerfulness, be humble, be modest, and be open. That is for one aspect of this. Now, in my meditations, as I started to say in the beginning, I have been saying that we are coming to the end of a couple of cycles. What my guides have been telling me since I've been doing, what my guides have been telling me since 2012, and as we were leading up to 2012, is that we're coming to the end of two major cycles. And one is an 11,000 year cycle of patriarchy. We're going to be moving into a cycle of matriarchy. And that doesn't necessarily mean women on top, but it means a shift in consciousness. It means that, yes, having more women in power, but it means more equality and using both sides of the brain in decision and policy making. And that means for everyone, instead of just left brain. And left brain is me, and I gotta get, die with the biggest toys kind of thing. This is much more an opening of spirituality, an acceptance and an abundance and teachings of spirituality and the arts which feed the soul. And those are even starting to go away recently. I found out they're no longer teaching music in school. What? Which affects all kinds of things about the body and the mind and everything else, and it makes you better at math, and I can go on. But moving into a matriarchal society does mean all of these positive changes. More equality, more belief in science and spirituality. They're not verses anymore. It is both hand in hand. equality, acceptance, love is openly praised and used and spoken of in policymaking and the care for the self and the care for the community. So that is one. The other end is we're coming to the end of another, and they told me 13,000 years and said in some aspects double that. So the end of the 13,000 year cycle is the end of, for lack of a better term, the end of a dark spiritual era. And because that's coming to an end, all the evildoers are going to be ramping up. And I've said this for years now. The people that have gone to my meditations can attest to this, that the evildoers, something is going to break. Something is coming to a head, and that coming to an end, those evildoers are going to give their last stitch effort as they're going over the side of the cliff. And I think this is it. So things are going to feel like they're getting worse before they get better. But this is an awakening of our consciousness. And this has to be done in a very shake us awake kind of style. So I started looking into any validation of the end of these cycles. And I have to read this to you. The Hopi prophecies. This is pretty interesting. There are end time stories from many different cultures. The Hopi prophecies speak of the emergence of a new world. The Hopi nation is the record keeper of the Native Americans. Very true. The Hopis call this time in history the fourth age of man. According to them, the earth has been wiped clean 3 times already, which I fully believe. The first time was by fire, the second time by ice, and the third and most recent was by a flood. Now you look into the Bible, you look into any ancient texts, look into Sumerian texts, which I hold a lot of clout in, or I believe hold a lot of clout rather. And they all speak of this massive flood. You look in any other culture, and they all speak of this massive flood. The most recent time was the flood, approximately 11 to 12,000 years ago. According to the Hopis, we are about to enter the 5th age, which is the world of illumination. But before this world can emerge, we will have to go through a purification in which we will be tested to see if we can make a leap in consciousness. I just saw this afternoon. This is blowing my mind, okay? So listen to this, okay? And I'm sure many of you probably already read this, but I haven't. This is awesome. It's scary, but it's good at the end. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, hold on. So, we will be asked to choose our path. The path of greed and comfort and profit, or the path of love and strength and balance. And I don't know if any of you have ever received an email from me. I always sign off. Love, light, strength, and balance. Hand to whoever, okay? Hand to my guides. This came up through me on my own. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying, thank goodness for my guides, because I'm so blessed to have these, to have them on my side. So, love, light, strength, and balance. And what this says, again, we will be asked to choose our paths, the path of greed and comfort and profit, or the path of love and strength and balance. The Hopi prophecy rock at Orabi shows the two-hearted people who think with their heads instead of their hearts. It is talking about us. Many native prophecies call for the rebirth of feminine spirit to heal the land. and many native elders point to the birth of 2 white buffaloes in the last decade as an indication of that white buffalo woman, the great mother goddess, is watching over us in this time of purification. If our left brain society, which is oriented to a masculine consciousness of individuality and rationality and lives in the head, continues to reject the heart, which is feminine and knows by intuition and feeling, then the purification will become self-destruction. But if we heal ourselves and think with our hearts, the world of illumination will be born. When I was studying with Audrey Bennett and Don Oscar Miro Caseta, a white buffalo was born. I'm literally getting goosebumps head to toe because this is so profound. It is written in many, many prophecies over the years. I want to continue to the 2012 Mayan prophecies. Now, many of us have heard, oh, the Mayan calendar, it ends at 2012, which means the world is going to end. No, that's our modern day missing the point way of thinking, okay? That is not what the Mayan calendar was saying at all. The Mayans were incredible at charting. The Mayans were experts and phenomenal at charting out cycles within cycles within cycles and what was coming, not just for their crops, but for weather and everything by the stars. And they were incredible mathematicians, and in a very different way than what we typically think of mathematicians. They were foreseers, definitely. So allow me to read this. 2012 in the Mayan prophecies. There are other prophecies that speak of changing of the ages. The one people are talking about is based on the Mayan calendar. The Maya had an incredible understanding of time. Many Westerners have heard that the Mayan calendar is coming to an end. There's a perception that this means that the end of the world is coming in the year 2012. This obviously was written before. But this is misleading and once again shows a very Western perception of the ending of things. Westerners don't value cycles, and we have to. The Mayans tracked cycles within cycles within cycles of time. Their calendar acted as a harmonic calibrator, linking and coordinating the earthly, lunar, solar, and galactic seasons. The calendar says that a rare astronomical and mythical event will occur on the winter solstice of 2012. On that day, there will be a cosmic alignment between Earth, Sun, the Pleiades star cluster, and the center of the Milky Way galaxy, called by the Maya the Sacred Tree. On December 21st, 2012, the sun will rise at the center of this sacred tree, the womb of the Milky Way galaxy, which represents the world tree and the tree of life. On that day, the Maya predict that all the diverse cycles of timekeeping will simultaneously turn over and start again, start vibrating to a new era. It might even symbolize the end of a great year, the 26,000 year cycle. Thanks, guides. That spans the whole zodiac. This alignment with the center of the Milky Way galaxy will supposedly align Earth with the spiritual intentions of the rest of the galaxy, as well as bringing these placements into alignment with the constellation of the Pleiades, the crown chakra of the galaxy. While some people believe world-shattering destruction awaits us, the symbolism also tells us that we will receive divine guidance and wisdom. While this myth does not relieve us of the duty to solve the problems that we have created for ourselves, it does say that we will have the help of cosmic energy to create a new world. So again, now is the time for us to raise our vibration. as individuals, as a society, but it starts with the self. So start to work on your own vibration. Start to do some meditation every day. And if you can't do meditation, do some grounding exercises and just focus on opening up and just raising, literally raising your consciousness up into the skies, up into the stars, because that is where this higher energy that is going to be helpful will reside. It is up to us if we receive it. And it is up to us if we are going to be open to it, be humble, be modest, and be cheerful. So I say that we hold on tight and beware of the possible changes and don't live in fear. Exchange knowledge with each other, exchange love with each other, exchange jokes with one another. Maybe exchange, I'm learning how to make pickles, and actually I just made some great pickles, and I'm learning how to make cheese, and I'm going to make beef tallow once I get enough beef fat. And that can be used as a frying agent. It can be used as a moisturizer. It can be used as a waterproofer. It can be used to make candles, and it stays for a very, very long time. So it's kind of like lard, but it can be used for all these other things. For those vegetarians out there, obviously you wouldn't be doing that. But these are things that I think might help people. And it might be a good thing. It may be difficult to get cheese, so maybe we can, make cheese. So you can actually make it from dried milk, dehydrated milk. Imagine that. But these are my ways of kind of doing for my neighbors. Even just making some homemade things right now is a symbol of kindness and of love, and it's important to have those gestures. And I'm only stepping out. I wait at least 7 days in between going out so that I know the last time I went out, I did not get infected. I don't make anything until 5 days after I've been out. So I know that I'm not infected, and I know everything that I'm making is in sacred space and in clean, purified space. These are my ways that I'm trying to look out for other people, and it raises my vibration, and it warms my own heart, and it humbles me, and it makes me tap into that love that we do have for each other. So I'm making myself cry again. Look at this. So let's still be there for each other, and social distancing right now is actually a great kindness that we're doing for one another. And oh God, here we go. Is a great kindness that we're doing for each other. And I think we'll know more as we move through this. I will share with what my guides are telling me, and I would love to hear what you guys are going through too. So I like to say, you know the truth when you hear it. This feels right to me. But feel free to share your opinions and share your experiences. And I would love to continue this conversation with you. So please, please leave information in the comments. And I do try to get to everyone, especially if you leave them on the YouTube channel. There I can see them easiest. So thank you so much for watching. I know this is just the beginning of a conversation, so please continue it. Okay? All right. I really, truly love you guys, and let's keep those vibrations up. Okay? Until next time. Bye.